Hello, my fellow board gamers. Today I'm bringing you an overview of World Exchanges. We've got the artists here, the designers, brought to us by these guys. Now, this one is a 2 to 4 player game, bang on at about 20 to 40 minutes, and it's that lightweight complexity. Now, in this one, after the incident of El Dorado in 2082, the world was divided and it was dominated by four notorious oligarchs. And we've got the entrepreneur today and we've got the aerospace engineer. And they've got this tradition of every 50 years, you'll be buying and selling cities to make the most profit. And which oligarch, which is you, will be the most prosperous at the end of 12 rounds. So you've got these 12 rounds to play. You've got some cities in this sort of market up here in a big deck of random cities. You start off with these 3 cities here, some start ones with little S's at the bottom, and you'll determine your cash flow. So you start with say 400 and 600, you get 1300 credits to begin with, and then you minus the cost here. So that's your starting cash flow. And as you go through these rounds, you'll be either buying stuff from the market or selling your assets and cities from your hand, and your cash flow will go up and down, and you're hoping to get these bonuses. So when you go through say a square, you can see here you get some more propaganda. Now propaganda is tracked up here, and whoever has the majority at the end will get the most money. So you can see in a 4-player game, 900 for whoever's first. In this particular 2-player setup, it's 500 for whoever's first, and then 0 for whoever's last. Now, when you get to round 6 as well, at the end of round 6, when everyone's completed it, you can see there's a card at the side there. Whoever has the least number of buildings is going to get an extra propaganda. So you can see that symbol. You go up here, so you're competing over that as well. And at the end of round 12, you can see at the far end there, whoever has hit or managed to hit 1,000 in cash flow at some point in the game. So you've got your line to hit the top at some point, you'll get 300 extra bucks, and if you ever get it down to 0, you get 300 as well. So a nice little way to earn some money there. So in terms of your go, you literally got that choice of either buying something from the market, and you pay the cost on the top here, so you can see 200, and if you sell it as well, you get 200, unless if you sell this in round 1, you'll get this price of 400 with the arrow going out for selling. If you sell it in round 7 or 11, you'll get 400. Now, if you do sell it in a month where it is red, you actually get to draw a line around it. So let's just say this player here, they sold it for, let's just say it was £400. Well, it was 400, was it, in this case? So this cash flow goes from 400 to 800. So we draw a line up. We've gained this token here, this yellow symbol, and because it is a red month, you draw a circle around it and you gain any bonuses, which isn't the best move in this game because there's actually no bonuses on there. So you get the bonuses there. So let's say it was, on the next one, it was down here. You draw a line around it and you get those 4, which we're going to get that one anyway. So that is a very good time if you can sell this in the round 7. And anything you sell just goes back to the market for other players to potentially attain. Now, you could sell, you could buy as well. So let's say we decide to buy Mumbai here, and it was these players. So we pay 200. So we're going down from 800 to 600. So we draw a little line there. Now you'd be playing more strategically than me, looking where the symbols are, trying to buy at the right price to take you down, or sell at the right price. And literally that's it. You buy something, next player goes, maybe they buy something, or maybe they sell something. Now you can, once per game, you can tick this box and you can buy up to 2 things rather than just the one. Or one time only, you could sell up to 2 things. So as your cash flow goes through, looking at a few more bits on your card, and I should say there's a bit of variety as well. You've got this sort of A side here, you can flip it over for a bit of variety on a different game, Bs, and equally your characters as well. You've got a B side and an A side. So these guys at the end are going to get an extra symbol, which you kind of set collecting. The aerospace engineers on the B side currently, but if they always go first, actually, the red player or the aerospace engineer. So these guys start with an extra propaganda at the beginning of the game. So in terms of, where are we looking at your board then? So you've got a host of symbols you're trying to collect. You've got these yellow ones. So at the end of the game, any cities that have this yellow symbol on, so Tokyo here, you multiply the number of assets you have at the end of the game, not during it. So you might actually have these now and you've sold them and other players have acquired them from the market. So let's just say you had 0 of those, yet you had 4 of these symbols you've been collecting throughout the game. 400 times 0, that's 0 credits. Whereas if you had managed to keep hold of these, but then that's influencing the profits you're making throughout the game. So if you had at the moment 3 of these times, say 4, would be literally, 1,200 credits. So at the end of the game, then you're going to work through the value of your cities in play. So you'd add up all these values, the top ones. So you get money for that, money for set collecting these. You look at where your cash flow is at the end. So, at the moment we're on 600. So wherever you end up at the end, so the more profits you make, hopefully your cash is up here. You'll also get a set collector for these sort of diamond symbols. So they can be acquired either on the board. So looking at this one, you can see here in round 2, that we actually landed on the exact spot, and that's fine. You will set collect that diamond. But if you ever go through them, in terms of skipping through this square here, that's not included. You have to actually land on it. Some of these can be acquired from cards as well. So on the deck, some of these cards have these little symbols onto a 10. And you can get up to 2,000 credits for having 5 of those. You'll also score round 12, so you can see that card on the side, whoever's got to 1,000 or not. Then you'll figure out your propaganda, so you can see whoever's on the lead on the propaganda board will score. And that's it. You add up all the money and see who is the winner. So you can see your cash flow. You're really trying hard to fluctuate. Maybe, I'm here and I want to get through this green symbol, but then I want to come up to get the blue, but I'm somehow trying to get this propaganda here. So, throughout the various rounds, and let's say, where are we? We're coming out of round 6. We're going into round 7. I'm looking at the marketplace and I'm thinking, okay, maybe I want to buy this one here, because you can see I'll pay 200 now in round 7, but when it gets to round 9, I can sell this for 400. Now, some of these cards, they've got negatives at the end of the game. This is actually going to lose you one of those blue symbols. Some might gain you them. Others, this one here will gain you, checking it around, this one will gain you that symbol. Some of them give you propaganda. If you have this card at the end of the game, you're actually going to lose the propaganda. So you're kind of making this fine balance between profits and which symbols you want to end up with at the end. Now, if the market has 2 or less cards, you will reveal, it will top up to 5. And at the end of the 6th round, when you've activated that, you'll discard all the cards in play in the market and reveal 5 more. Now, if throughout the game that it just happens that you never get 2 or less because people keep buying and selling at the right times and there's always 3 or 4 or 5 cards out there, you might not actually get much more variety out for that sort of first half of the game, which is interesting because you're looking at the cities in play and maybe these guys are collecting, a lot of green symbols and they've kept hold of, a lot of these green cities, but to make profits, they're having to buy and sell them. So as they're selling them, another player might be buying them. So you might end up with, 1 or maybe even 0 of these green cards, yet you've collected all the symbols and you multiply 0. So you're really having to figure out when to keep these cards, when to profit from them, which really fits in with the whole, notion of the game, that exchanging worlds and exchanging these cities here. And that's it, folks. Highest money at the end of the game will be the winner. Enjoy.